Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes. It is Sunday, the 15th of June, 2025. Lots of shit going down in the Middle East and in America at the moment, but I want to talk about Farage. I don't want to, actually, that's a lie. I don't want to talk about Farage. I'd rather talk about anything else. But Refuck are squirming their way up the greasy poles, and we need to be calling them out on their bullshit. So here we go. Today, before we get into all that, big shout out to Joanna and Veg and Anne and Billy, Francis, MH Carer, Rosie in there as well, Shin Zed. If you'd like to join them in the chat, all you need to do is press the big sexy subscribe button, and then you can become one of our socialites. Exciting stuff, I know. So, Farage, as everybody who watches this channel knows, is a gobshite who makes up all kinds of shit about him being a man of the people, even though he went to private school and was a city banker or financier or some weirdo in the city of London making lots of money. Even though he whinged endlessly about not being able to get a posh bank account for multi-millionaires, and even though he drives around in a private jet that sometimes occasionally crashes, and then the pilot of said plane doesn't, they survived the crash. Let's put it that way. And also, even though this man of the people is earning millions every year, hawking crypto and gold and all kinds of shit that most of the common people can't really invest in any substantial amount because they haven't got a substantial amount to invest in. But he says he says that Refuck, run by him, privately educated, Richard Tice, privately educated, chairman, Zia Yusuf, whatever his fucking name is, privately educated, with Aaron Banks, privately educated, and Wigmore and those other fucking gobshites waiting in the wings, all of whom are privately educated. He says he's saying that it's a people's party. He says that Refuck is a people's party. But here's the thing: as a report in Open Democracy the other day showed, it's actually bankrolled mostly by the elite. It has received £4.8 million in large donations since 2023. It's more like a private equity firm. In fact, it is set up as a company rather than as a political party. He has big claims, Farage has big claims about being anti-establishment when he is the establishment. It's straight out of Goebbels, Goering, one of those Nazi scumbags playbook, which is accuse your enemy of that of which you are guilty. And he is definitely guilty of not being a man of the people, definitely being part of the establishment. Also, the village idiot Anderson. Yeah, but the thing is, the village idiot Anderson and Crafty Wah in here in Durham, they are working class lads who have been seduced by these rich aristocratic wank stains. So they're fallen into the trap, and they're held up as some kind of talisman to say, "Oh no, look, we're representing." Just being sensible, you're representing being racist. You're representing people who go out and they see people who have a different coloured skin and get very, very vexed about it. They get very upset about difference. Like J.K. Rowling, they get upset about difference. They want the different people to use different bathrooms to everybody else. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound fucking familiar? It should do to anyone who had to grow up through apartheid in South Africa or segregation in the South in America in the 1950s. I mean, they might recognize that idea of the different people having to use different toilets. Why? Why do the different people have to use different toilets? Well, because they might attack me. Okay. Is there some evidence that everyone in this particular cohort is a predator? No, not at all. In fact, the absolute fucking opposite of that. But you never know. So, the reality is with Refuck, it is the same rich old Tory donors, offshore billionaires, fossil fuel barons, and crypto. See you next Tuesdays. It's too early in the morning. It's too early on Sunday morning to drop the C-bomb. But you know what I want to say. This is just capitalism, It's capitalism with a fucking disgusting frog face and a pint. I don't see why it's so attractive to people, but they've got money. They've got money. So like I said, it's 4.8 million declared in large donations since, which is over £11,180 in a given year. That they've had that since 2023. and they've raised 1.5 million in the first quarter of this year alone. Okay, so that's quite hefty. Not as big as Labour, and it's not as big as the Conservatives, but obviously refuck are not as established. The total they got in 2024 was 3 million, not 4.75 million as it was reported. In some places that was because of double counting during the election period. But Reform claims to have 233,000 members. Now, obviously, Labour and the Tories have lost lots of members in the last year and have been very reticent to actually give out their membership numbers because they think it might be a bit embarrassing. I say think, because they know it will be a bit embarrassing, but, you know, that's another story for another day. Membership costs for being a refucker are £25 a year, and this generates between 2.3 million and 5.8 million a year, but this is not declared in the Electoral Commission data. But what we can find out, because that's donations of less than 11,000, but what we can do specifically is look at the inner circle of the top donors who is funding Farage. Number one, Richard Lice, the infection that you get on your head, lays eggs in your hair. Richard Lice, he is the deputy leader, and he's also the main bankroller. He's given over £1 million of his own money to the refuck movement. Then we've got Fiona Cottrell, who is a former lover of Prince Charles, and she's the mother of Posh George, who's this aristocrat who's now hanging out with Farage. In fact, when Farage had that wonderful milkshake thrown at him last year, Posh George was just behind him. Now, Posh George is a criminal. He served time in jail for various offences. He is a man who bragged once about losing £20 million in a card game in Monte Carlo. So, you know, it's a hard life for some of these aristocrats. George Cottrell has given nothing directly. This is the son of Fiona. By the way, Fiona Cottrell had to stop going out with Prince Charles in the 1970s because it turned out she did an 11-page spread for Playboy, which is fine. You know, I've got no problem with people taking their clothes off for money. God knows we've all been there, but at the same time, it was a bit of a royal scandal, but obviously because it was all the aristocrats and all the knobs, it was kind of pushed onto the carpet quite rapidly, strangely rapidly. I don't know how they do that. It's almost as though they have some way of keeping the tabloids on side when it comes to certain members of the royal family, but then other members of the royal family members that might be divorced or estranged, or for some reason, you know, there might be some strain between them and the core of the royal family. They get absolutely shat all over every day. I remember Princess Diana in the 1990s. People kind of forget now because she's dead, and it was tragic. And everyone goes, "Oh, she was the queen of our hearts." Yeah, but for the last 5 years of her life, she was hounded to death, literally, by the tabloid press, who all just queued up to call her a slut and a gobshite, and went, "Oh God, what is she wearing?" Endless comments, columns. What is she wearing? I mean, the trolling that people get now on the internet. That was the precursor to that was the way that the tabloid press trolled Harry's mum in the 1990s, and then it decided to start doing the same thing to his wife because, you know, she didn't fit into some kind of box. I don't know what box she didn't fit into. Can anyone tell me? She was rich. She was successful in her own right. She's beautiful. She's really smart. There's something about her that upset the tabloid. I can't put my finger on it. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? The pictures have come through for Trump's birthday parade, by the way. There was no one there. It was just fucking empty. It was so embarrassing. Like, there was a few thousand people turned up. That was it. Meanwhile, a million people, more than a million, millions of people turned up all over America for these 200 2,000, more than 2,000 separate protests against him. But there was something else that happened as well this week, which I wanted to mention because otherwise I will forget. But it's to do with Tattle Life. So Tattle Life was this website that was just fucking horrible. endlessly attacking influencers, particularly female influencers, and it made some people that we know and love, it made their life an absolute misery. It actually doxed certain people that we're mates with, friends of ours, people who have appeared on this channel, and it eventually got. We found out that there was a couple from Northern Ireland who were awarded £300,000 in a court battle, in a legal battle against this website Tattle Life, which literally it was just trolling. It was just pure fucking trolling of people who weren't even particular public figures. They were just people making videos on YouTube, and the guy behind it has been named as Sebastian Bond. I'm sure he went to the local fucking comp with a name like Sebastian, and he calls himself Bastian as well. Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate him already. I'd probably hate him just by seeing. Sorry to anyone called Seb out there. But yeah, he is. He hosts this website, which hosts threads, bulletin board type stuff, commenting on influencers, celebrities, and general members of the public. And it's attracted over 12 million visitors a month. So this couple from Northern Ireland have successfully sued for 300,000 in the libel damages, and it's also because the guy behind it has been named, and also his assets have been frozen. Over £1 million worth of assets have been frozen. I'd love to find out what private school this motherfucker went to. If anyone could do some research on that. His name's Sebastian Bond. I can't find much about him on the internet, but funnily enough, he had his own social media website thing going on. Not website, social media enterprise going on Instagram with over 125,000 followers. So there you go. He's the defendant he's part of he owns the British and Hong Kong registered companies Zuzu Zest and Kumquat Tree Limited, and it was now beyond doubt that Mr. Bond had operated the site. So further legal efforts are expected to focus on securing enforcement of the damages award, and also because he was very tricksy, he tried to move his money around so they couldn't touch it. But from what I understand, he's had £1 million of his money frozen, and hopefully some of our friends who he's been really fucking horrible to, people who he's actually fucking doxed to the point where they got death threats, handwritten death threats, posted through their fucking door. Hopefully he'll get what's coming to him. Hopefully he'll fucking be on the streets with this time next year. I doubt it, because he'll have old school chums that he knows things about. They all played fucking tugging hat and fucking soggy biscuit together. But yes, it's just it just to mention that when we're talking about trolls. Anyway, back to George Cottrell, another privately educated, preening peacock bastard. He's a former UKIP fundraiser. He's a convicted fraudster. He's a crypto investor. He lives between the UK and Montenegro, because fuck living in the UK full time. He is a key Farage ally. He's officially given no money, but he has funded £25,000 an overseas trip to Farage and his mother Fiona, who used to be Prince Charles's girlfriend. Because we hate the establishment. Fuck the establishment, we say. She's given £750,000 to the refuckers. £750,000. So the next one up is Azia Yusuf, another. This is someone who's deeply tied with the party, and he briefly banned himself. He yeeted himself out of the party for a couple of days over this Burka ban that was put forward by the privately educated, newly elected. Do you see the pattern here? Do you see it? The woman who's become the MP for Runcorn and Helsby. Privately educated, of course, and she stood up in Parliament to make her maiden question, her first thing that I think she said in Parliament, and she said, "Why don't you ban the burqa?" And literally everyone in the room groaned. Everyone just went, Johnny Copperhead, the first super chat of the weekend. Thank you very much, sir. Sebastian needs to leave our town alone Indeed, Johnny Copperhead. So thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Gonna set a goal. Gonna set a quick goal. Get some super chats in because I did get up this morning. It could be any colour, so don't worry about it. I'll just put that up for 15 minutes, and I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy. Listen, I just want to say I'm really sorry about being so low energy the last week or so. I'm not feeling 100%. I'm really not. I'm aching. I'm sleepy. I'm just not firing on all cylinders. And when I've got like a name or something, a bit of trivia or something in my head, and I can't quite articulate what it is, it's the most frustrating thing in the world. My heart goes out to people who suffer from stammers and things like that, because I know, I can imagine what it's like to live with that all the fucking time. When you have the word in your head, and then for some stupid fucking reason, your mouth just doesn't allow you to say the word. So just big shout out to all my friends out there who do suffer from speech impediments and things. I really feel for you. It must be, I find it insanely frustrating when I'm just, below par, to have to deal with that every fucking day. Jesus Christ. Wow. Very impressive people who can go out there and do that. Our friend Pranay suffers from a stammer, and being able to go out there and put himself onto camera and talk about important political issues, it takes a lot more. It's one of the reasons why I quite gave a lot of respect to Joe Biden. He suffers from a stammer as well. But obviously he suffers from a lot more now because he's fucking ancient. Talking of ancient, Trump turned 79 years old yesterday, and no one turned up for his funeral. I mean, his birthday party. So the next biggest, one of the next biggest donors is Holly Valance, whose name in brackets here it says Holly Vukadinovic. I don't know if that's her real name, her original name. I don't know. She's married to Refuck's main fundraiser, Nick Candy, or one of the major fundraisers. And she's given at least 50,000 to herself, whereas Nick Candy, her privately educated husband, and she's privately educated as well, by the way, has given all this money to bloody Refuck. Because this is what the Refuckers do. Okay, so the next guy is David Lilly. He's given 274,000 to Refuck. He is a hedge fund boss. He co-founded Redwood Kite Capital with Tory peer Lord Farmer. Should we go and have a look? Should we go and have a look for him here? Okay, so here's David Lilly here. He's a snooker player. That doesn't sound right. Hang on. What's even happening with my screen here? Can I get this to not be weird? Can you not be it? See, this is set up wrong. Sorry, this is set up for the papers. And so when I try and do anything other than the papers, it's not going to show correctly. So let me just try and fix this. Let me try and fix this shit. I'll be one moment and then I'll be back with you. Let me see if I just go to window capture. And then we go to window, David Lilly. No, that's the wrong one. David Lilly. Okay, right, cool. Right. Righty tighty. We'll just do this. And then this, I think. Oh, hang on. No, I've done it wrong. I've messed it up. You messed it up, you silly bastard. Right. There we go. Okay, put that below the chat window and then put it below me because I need to be able to see me. Then press fade. There we go. We got there in the end. Right. He seems to be a snooker player. That's not right, is it? Is it right? I don't know. We got a couple of super chats in. Oh, thank you. Gareth, yes. Sent you a WhatsApp. All set my end. Oh, this is to do with the fact we're doing a How We Fix Britain about the prisons today. Me and Gareth. So thank you very much for the super chat. But we've got to do it before 7 o'clock because that's when the Grand Prix starts and Gareth wants to watch the Grand Prix. So we'll try and get that sorted this afternoon. I'll give you the heads up well in advance. So keep an ear out for your, well, not an ear, but keep a eye out for your notifications. Keep a vibration in your pocket out. Paula, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Nigel Bevan, founder of the NHS, had a stammer. Yep, that's true. Nigel Bevan, who was Welsh, wasn't it? Nigel Bevan. And Sarah Davis, thank you very much. Seb Bond went to St. Joan of Arc, Rickmansworth. Oh, okay. Good bit of investigation there. Is that a private? Oh no, it's just a Catholic school. So it's not a private school, but he is called Sebastian. Captain Coconut, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Seems Talk TV are pushing remigration. When will this right wing insanity stop? Oh right, when it's them. This kind of thing infuriates me. Yeah. Thank you very much, Captain Coconut. See Zia Yusuf on Question Time going on about foreigners. Then that's the biggest problem that the country is facing. Foreigners. You're kind of like, really, is that the biggest problem that we're facing at the moment? Anyway, let's have a look at this David Lilly creep. Not the snooker player, not the snooker player, not the former snooker player. Let's put hedge fund. So hedge funds don't make their money through building companies. They don't find a startup and say, yeah, we like the cut of your jib, and then give that person or those people, give them money to fund their startup and achieve their dreams, and then they get some money in return. Now, hedge funds like vulture capitalists that circle around, and when they see there's a company that's not doing very well, they hedge their bets against them. Just like the aliens in War of the Worlds. Rosie, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. It's really kind of you. Thank you, Rosie. Biggest super chat of the morning. Rosie says, happy Sunday, Graham, and everyone here. Oh, thank you, Rosie. Alistair, thank you, just to hit that goal. Thank you, Alistair. And now I am very happy. So thank you, everyone who's contributed towards the super chat. Goal, which we have hit. Goal! Maybe we should have like a little animation that goes like, it goes from Match of the Day. And then we like it kicks it and it's a super chat. The goal explodes. There's fireworks. It's just, yeah, maybe I should work on that today. I don't know. Or maybe I should do something proper. Anyway, so back to this guy. So David Lilly, hedge fund, government UK. Okay, here we go. Drakewood Capital. Do you reckon this is him? Do you reckon this is him on LinkedIn? Managing director. He's not posted anything. He went to the University of Warwick. Let's see what school. Oh, you see, he doesn't have his school listed. It's always interesting when they don't have their schools listed. Show all activity. See if he's given some money to some school that he used to go to. No, okay, right. We can't look him up. Oh shit! I realised that you can't even see. This is the problem when things are set up in such a way that you know each website's slightly different. Whether they're stuck over one side or so. Anyway, so who else are we going to look up? Let's go to the next person. Terence Mordaunt. Oh, Terence Mordaunt. Any relation to Penny Mordaunt? We should look this up. Terence Mordaunt. There we go. He is the co-founder of Bristol Capital. He has given over £200,000 to the... Oh my God, this is annoying me. Stop doing this. He's given over £200,000 to Refuck, and it looks like he is the co-owner of the Bristol Port. He went to Wells Cathedral School, independent co-ed school. There you go. Another person to add. I'm going to have to smaller this down, aren't I? That's okay. Let's just put it here, and maybe you'll be able to read it. I was trying to make it a bit bigger so you could actually read the words. It's one of the oldest extant schools in the world, the Wells Cathedral School. It was founded in 909 AD. Well, that's nice if you can afford it. Okay, so I'll have to add him to the private school mafia. So he gave £200,000. That's a guy called Terence Mordaunt. Jeremy Hoskins is the next one. He is a fossil fuel investor. He funded Vote Leave, the Reclaim Party, and the Critic magazine. Let's have a look at Jeremy Hoskins. Here's his stupid, gormless little gammony face. There he is, Jeremy Hoskins. People also ask, why is he such a gobshite? Born in he went to St. Catherine's College, Cambridge. A rugby school, he went to rugby. There you go. Another one to add to the private school mafia list. Another one to add. Next one is Malcolm Robinson, who has no known public profile. Along with Duncan Mackay, who has also he's not publicly identified, but Malcolm Robinson gave 160,000, and Duncan Mackay gave 100,000. Roger Nygoff. Imagine having this much money to just give to racism. Do you know what I mean? Like sitting there going, "There's not enough racism. We need more racism." Okay, so here's this gobshite here, Roger Nygoff. He's a founding partner of Being a Gobshite Group. He's the co-founder of JRJ, and he taking the little things and turning them into big things. Apparently, he's the co-founder Lehman Brothers. He used to work for the Lehman Brothers. Fuck me, and he lives in Monaco, and he went to University College. University College. That's a university, isn't it? University College School, though. Is that university? Hang on, my friends. University College School. I think that's a private school. There we go. Independent school. There we go. Private day school in Hampstead. So far, every single fucker who has given to fucking refuck, all the big donors, 100% so far, 100% record, right? 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. They all went to private school. Men of the people, women of the people of the people, posh, aristocratic people of the people. Well, next up is we have JB Drax Honor, maybe part of the Drax family, gave 50,000. And this is it's a business, it's a company. It's a financial service company. And Adam and Joe went to Manchester University. That's good to know. It's founded by Jonathan Glassberg. Okay, let's look up Jonathan Glassberg. This is fun. Google with Graham. Jonathan Glassberg. No, there's nothing in there about him. Ben Shepherd, Ben with two N's. Who spells Ben with two N's? Ben Shepherd, English TV presenter. No, that's not him. Ben Shepherd, here we go. LinkedIn, good old LinkedIn, letting us know where these fuckers went. There we go. Oh my God, he's wearing sunglasses in his profile pic. What a dick. What an absolute fucking dick. Living the fucking dream, baby, he writes on his fucking profile here. Reed School. He went to Reed School. Let's have a look what Reed School is. Maybe it's a comprehensive. You never know. It might be a Bags to Riches story. No! It's an independent fucking day school. It's a private school. It's a private fucking school. This is fun, isn't it? It's like looking into, a toilet on a train. Okay, so who have we got next? We've got Jacques Toom from Nova Venture Holdings. He's an oil energy exec, and he has lobbied against the windfall tax. He's based in off-seas jurisdiction. He is listed in LinkedIn. Jacques J. Tome, his name is. So let's have a quick look over on him. He is the co-founder of Gobshites. And let's have a look. He's not posted anything. He went to Columbia University, so maybe he's a Yank. Show all his experiences. Maybe he was head of the debating society. You never know. He was investment banking analyst. Okay, so he went around analyzing things. Always good to know. Schools. Columbia American University of Beirut. Okay, so he grew up in Lebanon. All right, so don't know if that was a private school, but probably went to private school in Lebanon. Right, so moving back onto the list of donors. The next one is a guy called Basim Hadir. I don't know why people who don't have, aren't called John Smith get people on side for come on side and say, yeah, we want more racism. And it's like, you do know what's going to... Anyway, this is a tycoon who's spoken out against the scrapping of non-dom status. He's there's a Guardian article about him. Here's his official. I love this. This is his official bullshit. Hadar has founded companies across the fintech. Hate that expression. Worth 1.6 million. Where did he go to school? Where did he go? Medical cannabis. So he's a pot dealer. Doesn't tell us where he went to school. Can you tell us where he went to school, mate? How about you tell us where he went to school? Badir Hamar Hadir's post. I don't think this is him. I think it's just a post. Oh, is it? Oh, there you go. Hello, owner of the It Group. It's a bunch of shit. Let's have a look where business development, interests, companies. He's not listed his schools down, so we can't find out where he went. But let's just say he went to private school. He probably did. Balance of probability. So he gave £50,000 of his own hard-earned money. No, sorry, 25,000. And then finally we got Simon William Smith, who gave 58,000. He's an angel investor. That makes him sound like a nice person, but he's not. With interests in crypto. Reform wants to deregulate crypto quite famously and reduce capital gains tax. So, your money can make you money and you don't have to pay tax on that. But if your time makes you money and your skills, your purpose, your actual time you're awake, that makes money, then you pay the highest rate of tax on that, but the lowest rate on tax on money that you earn while you're fucking asleep because your assets are earning money. That's the way the rich want to run the world. So the next guy is called Simon William Smith. We will go over to see what internet's got to say about him. Personal appointments. A1. A1, is this the name of his company? Commercial executive. He hasn't posted anything. But there you go. So, okay. That's my list of fuckers. They're the people to not to trust with anything because they're fuckers. An angel investor like Lucifer. Ooh, good point. Well done. And I like that. Honestly, Graham, if I hear that someone went to private school, has been beaten up on the news, I'm going to want to know your alibi on that night, says Tommy Lee. Well, I'm not going to beat them up. I'm just going to politely, ever so politely suggest that they head over to privateschoolmafia.com, which for some reason I've got some problem on my computer that won't let me check it out. But if I just do this, I should be able to go to private. That's the wrong thing. Should go to Private School Mafia here. Let's reduce this down a little bit. I just want to show you this Private School Mafia site, just because this isn't even complete. I'm going to have to just make it a bit, make it a bit bigger for you so you can actually see the names. There you go. So we start with Aaron Bell. We start with AA, right? Just watch this. Just watch this. Imagine you were watching a movie and this many names came up on the credits like this. I mean, obviously they're not all names. I mean, but, Brian May, Brian Cox, Camilla Tominay, who always turns up being she's a columnist. Cara D'Avalinge, whatever her name is. Carey Mulligan is in there. Casino Royale is in there or something. Chris Morris, the comedian. Chris Martin, the singer-songwriter. We're only up to the C's, Crispin Blunt. Dua Lipa, David Steele. There's two people called David Steele who both went to private school. Ed O'Brien out of Radiohead. We've got Femi, our mate Femi. I love him, but he did go to private school. George Nash is on the list. Gina Miller, who I also love, she's on the list. Because, it's hard to be famous unless you're on this list. Ian McKellen, love the guy, but, he's on the list. Richard J. for James Fox, not Jamie Foxx, different one. Jeremy Hoskins there. We're just in the J's. We're just in the J's. Look, see how many fucking names are on this fucking list. Jude Law is in there. We've got Keith Allen. He went to private school. So did his son. So did his daughter. Moving on, we've got Mark Commode. And so did Simon Mayo. So if you're allowed to criticize movies on the internet, you have to have gone to private school. We've got Miles in there. Miles Duke. We've got Neil Hudson. Lots of questions. We've got Nick Ferrari, the presenter. Pat Sharp from Funhouse. He went to private school. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. You wouldn't have expected that with a name like that, would you? We've got Ralph Fiennes. You never expected him to go to private school, did you? He played Nazis. We've got Robert J. We've got Roger Taylor from Queen. We've got Rowan Atkinson, the comedian. We've got Sally Lee Oldfield. We've got Sandy Toksvig. In fact, you'll watch an episode of QI, and most of the time, the majority of the people on the TV show have been to private school, because there's always the presenter, which is either Stephen Fry, privately educated, and Sandy Toksvig, privately educated, and it'll have what's his name? The silly guy, what's his name? Lovejoy, not Lovejoy. The silly one. Who was on a TV show once that everyone's sort of associated with. Jonathan Creek, that's him. He went to private school. And then we've got Sophie Dahl. She went to Bedales, which is like the Eton for ladies. We've got Stephen Fry, as I've just mentioned there. We've got Stephen Frears, got Stuart Lee, the comedian. He's a funny guy, love him, but he is very posh. We've got Thea Shavak there, the director. We've also got Tim Westwood, the bishop's son, pretends to be black, but he's white. The whole, the whole Ali G thing was just a mistake of him, and he turns out to be a sex pest as well. So there you go. And we've got Vicky Young there, the deputy political editor for BBC News. We've got Wim Butler from RK5. We've got some international ones on the list here. Zach Goldsmith there. We've got Zach Polanski, who's wanting to be leader of the Greens, bring a bit of a common touch to the Green Party, I guess. And the Guardian columnist Zoe Williams also went to private school as well. So they're all our Zs at the bottom there. There were 1,273 names on the list. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do we have is Political X doing a show this week? Can someone let me know in the chat quickly? Because otherwise I'm going to have to wrap up very soon because I'm going to shunt you over there. But if not, I'll keep jabbering. Freckle Puny, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. This is what happens when born millionaires and billionaires who don't ever have to work again start treating politics as their own plaything. Yep. But it's not politics, is it, Freckle Puny? It's our lives. They start treating our lives as their plaything. It always reminds me of the scene in Schindler's List where the commandant of the concentration camp, played by Ralph Fiennes, is up and he's sniping people. He's sniping people for just sport. He's shooting people in the head for sport. That's what billionaires and multimillionaires remind me of. Draconic Drizzt, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. They had it coming. They had it coming, indeed. Whoever organised the No Kings movement in the US needs to be hired by Starmer. They know how to kick back. Thanks for that, Charles Stanhope there with the £5 super chat. We've got Dark 54, business idea, mobile dance floor, and DJ booth that can be set up in cemeteries, particularly ones that will house Trump. Well, I've often said that we should put a Dance Revolution mat down on their grave with a screen set up so we can do the dance moves on their grave, because a grave's like that, isn't it? So you could have it going sideways. You have two mats next to each other, and you can have two people competing on the mats. You can buy mats that you buy, that you can have at home. They're just like plastic. They roll out like the twister mat, and you just put that on the grave, and then you have a dance competition. That's what we're going to do on the graves of certain people in years to come. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rosie about 90%. I agree, Graham. Politics is serious business, should be treated as such. Absolutely. Like Button Smash, the Sunday Roasters taking a break for the summer, as far as I know. Okay, well, I'll keep going then. Well, thank you very much for the super chats. You've put 50p in the idiot. And I'll keep talking. I've got loads of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about tax havens and shell companies and shady strategies. So we've got £600,000 came into Refuck from donations came from people or companies based in or controlled in a tax haven like Monaco, Luxembourg, etc. Nick Candy, Holly Valence's husband, multimillionaire, privately educated scumbag, he openly stated that the party's fundraising strategy involves targeting ultra-wealthy donors in low-tax jurisdictions. Farage's overseas trips that have been funded by Posh George Cottrell and possibly others, legal under the Electoral Commission rules if reasonable costs are covered, but clearly these are skirting scrutiny. He has made these trips are costing tens of thousands of pounds, and him and Liz Truss are very similar in this. They believe that when they go abroad, it should be like a fucking grand embassy. It's like Peter the fucking Great going on holiday, and they have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. Now, at least in Refuck's case at the moment, like that money isn't being paid by the taxpayer. But when it was Liz Truss going around the world as our foreign secretary, God, she was our foreign secretary. She was the face of Britain. Some people in like Malawi who had never met anyone from Britain before in person, she might have been the first British person that they had met ever in their lives, and it was Liz Truss. And that's the impression. First impressions matter. They really count. And that is the impression that she gave and she's given. And that's, wow. And then GB News paid about £500,000 to Refuck MPs, including Farage, who got most of the amount, but also Lee Anderson, who was paid £100,000 a year to host a fucking show. God, I wish I was paid £100,000 a year to host 14 shows a week. That'd be fucking great. Can we do? How many shows he does one a week? Oh. If treated as political donations, GB News would be Refuck's second largest external donor. GB News famously is a massive loss-making company. It's owned by the father of the banjo player from Mumford and Sons. God, if they play the secret fucking slot on Saturday at Glastonbury, that might be where the class war starts. That might be the beginning of the class war. Anyway, he's the father of the privately educated banjo player from Mumford and Sons, and he is a privately educated gobshite in his own right, and he bankrolls GB News to be on everyone's smart telly. You have to remove it. You can remove it. Go into your channel settings on your smart TV. You can remove GB News, but unfortunately, every time your TV updates, it'll come back. So you have to keep deleting it. It's like a virus. It's like a fucking tapeworm. You ever had worms? Got it in Vietnam once. Really, really, really unpleasant. Like, one of the most unpleasant sensations you could possibly imagine is having worms. It isn't great. Anyway, so yeah, refuck, worms, tapeworm, hookworm. Yeah, not great. And GB News, you try and get rid of it, and it just keeps coming back. Just keeps coming back. Anyway, so yeah, he funds GB News, which has made £100 million of loss so far. 100 million. Who spends £100 million on propaganda, on right-wing propaganda? That calls gay people paedophiles. That says trans people shouldn't be allowed to use the fucking bathroom in public. That says that ginger people should be put on a camp and cured or something. This is a channel, right, that goes on and on about ADHD not actually being a thing. And all I can say to that is, fuck you, you rich, privately educated twat bats. I fucking hate every single one of you shiteholes. You absolute shit flaps. You gobshite. You fucking foul mountains of waste. You are disgusting. You are abominable. I hope that all the bad things that could possibly happen to a human being happen to you. Fucking GB fucking News. Anyway, so yeah, and then we've got where these people who are paying this money to refuck this political party, they're influencing the policy of refuck. Clearly, this is where commercial interests cross over with political interests. Now, Graham, you could argue, but Labour get funded by the unions and they do things in the union's interest. Yes, they do. But there is a point where we shouldn't be allowing politics to be taken over for the rights of the privately educated company owners, the fat cat businessmen. They shouldn't be taking over our politics, but they do. They've channeled money through the Tory party for years, and now they've moved to refuck, and it's kind of like gloves are up. They can do whatever the fuck they want at the moment. And look at the policies that these gobshites in refuck are pursuing. Crypto, right? So Smith, Cottrell, Harborne, all involved in crypto. Reform pledges to deregulate crypto and cut capital gains tax on crypto. Cryptocurrencies obviously set up by rich people because every time money moves around crypto, they get a percentage of the money being moved around crypto. And because the money around crypto has no limit on it, you can just make up a fucking number. That's actual money that they actually get every time there's a transaction. And that's how Trump has made $600 million so far this year just out of crypto alone. Like a fucking gobshite. The other thing that they stick up for is burning fossil fuels, digging fossil fuels out the ground, burning them, destroying the planet. Mordaunt, Hosking, and others are linked to oil and gas industries, and Reform is famously anti-net zero because they want us to be continually to be wedded to the up and down price of oil. And we need to explain this to refuckers. So if you talk to a refucker and you say, listen, can we just talk about fossil fuels for a moment and ask them if they want our country to be beholden to the whims of what the fuck is going on in the Middle East, right? So the Middle East kicked off the other day and the price of oil spiked by 10% within minutes of that conflict kicking off between Iran and Israel. And so the cost of our energy, the cost of producing anything, the cost of getting anywhere in this country suddenly shoots up. And we have to pay for that, right? Ask them why they don't want energy self-sufficiency. Ask them why they don't want our energy to be made on this island by us. And they'll say, oh, we need to drill in the North Sea. And I'm like, no, that's not our oil. We give out a license to a company and then they drill the oil and then they sell it back to us at a fucking premium. We pay exactly the same amount because it's the international market that sets the price of oil. We do not get a rebate. We do not get a fucking discount coupon code for fucking oil bought out of the North Sea. And I wish that when mealy-mouthed politicians in the Tory party and in the refuck party come out with this claptrap about, well, we need to drill more oil in the North Sea. There's loads of oil there. It'd be great to get. Yeah, that doesn't help us one little motherfucking bit. What would help us is for us to uncouple from fossil fuel commodities, subsidies, everything, uncouple from that. So our unit energy, for the price for our energy, right, isn't based on the most expensive part of that energy mix, which at the moment, because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, is fucking gas. We're bringing gas in from Qatar, halfway around the fucking world, when we could be making the energy here. And this is what the refuck fuckers want. Thank you very much to Paula Thomas for the super chat. As an LLC, refucks audited accounts that have to be filed with Companies House and therefore public. That's interesting. And Anne Phillips, thank you very much for the swear fund. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Wow, even more spicy than usual, Graham, says Alistair. And thank you very much for the super chat. Needs the mega rant this morning. I just fucking hate them. It was the ADHD. Someone did a supercut of all the shit they've said about ADHD, about it not being real. And as someone who's suffered from ADHD all my life, no, it is fucking real. Can you fuck off? And it's exactly the same mentality that these fuckers have about disability in general, right? And I know that my disability, if you can call it that, is nowhere near the level of someone who is blind or someone who is deaf or someone who's in a wheelchair. But that private school mentality, and don't forget, both the guys from Little Britain both went to private school. The private school mentality, they might be faking it. They might not need that benefit. They might not need that PIP. They might not need that dole money. They'll just spend it on cigarettes. They might not need this. They might be pretending. They might be pretending to have ADHD for the money that they get. You don't get any money for having fucking ADHD. You might be able to buy, ask the government for a new chair. That's about it. It's not like they just open the floodgates and say, oh, there you, congratulations, Graham, you've been diagnosed with ADHD. Here's loads of money from the government. Doesn't work like that. I'll tell you what did work like that, owning a company. Having a company that was active, registered with Companies House back in the COVID days. You got free money off the government. Did any of these fuckers complain about that? No, they didn't. They complained if they didn't get it. But maybe there were lots of self-employed people who didn't deserve it, who are actually earning millions each year and only declaring that they only earned £11,800 a year because they didn't want to pay income tax. So they said, "Oh no, it's a dividend. I'll put it into capital. You only have to pay capital gains tax, which is a lot lower than what's it called? Than income tax, right?" And here's the thing, right? For a lot of these people, not everyone, there's some people who were self-employed who got absolutely screwed during Brexit, and I appreciate that. But there were some people, because it was based on how much you earned, and you got a proportion of how much you earned in the last financial year from which you submitted records. So if you only admitted to earning a fraction of what you actually earned, then you only got a fraction of what you should have really got from the government. But this idea that they might be pretending fucking drives me mad. Absolutely drives me up the fucking wall. No, I will give you all the benefit of the doubt. Except if you are some rich motherfucker who went to private school who's telling us that net zero is nonsense. then I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to put you in our big trebuchet and I'm going to yeet you into the fucking sea, you absolute gobshites. And then we've got we've got crypto, which is a policy of theirs. We've got fossil fuels burning, loving the fossil fuels, sticking your dick in a barrel of oil. That's what they're all about. Disgusting, dirty, toxic, dirty fuel. That's what they represent. Grab a piece of coal, your hand's dirty, isn't it? Yeah, you spill some oil. Spill some oil on when you changing the oil on your car or doing something. Get oil on yourself, yeah, dirty fucking oil. It's disgusting, isn't it? It's horrible. Get that on your jeans. It's not coming out easily, is it? Dirty, disgusting stuff. And the natural gas, yeah, fucking natural gas, yeah. They call it natural gas, as opposed to what, unnatural gas. So does it naturally come out the ground and then gets refined and then gets brought from Qatar, gets naturally gets cooled down to 200 degrees, minus 200 degrees Celsius, to be brought over here in big dome-like structures on a cargo ship. Brings us over here. Bring it over here. Yeah, it's natural. Yeah. Try sitting in a room that natural gas is just leaking into. It will either fucking explode or you'll die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Nice. Deadly. Fucking deadly. Can't emphasize that enough. Fucking deadly. So yeah, disgusting, dirty fossil fuel shit. That's what they keep wanting us to fucking do. And they obviously pay people and have people who complain about onshore wind farms. I fucking love onshore. They're so clean. Look at them sitting on the hillside. It's clean, nice and clean. I went to Hexham yesterday, which is a lovely little village up in Northumberland, and it's got this ancient cathedral there. It's got this, I think it's a cathedral. It must just be a church. It's an abbey. It's this beautiful abbey. They started building it back in the fucking, I don't know, the 900 AD or something. And it's got these beautiful old walls, and it's got a little marketplace that they have every other Saturday. It's just lovely. But then, if you turn on a, you look up a hill, right? There's a fucking plant on the hill, like not a plant, not like a tree. No, I mean like an industrial plant. I don't know if it's a chemical plant or it's oil refinery or it's a power station or what the fuck it is, but it's just sitting there on the hill and you see it and it's disgusting, and it's got these two fucking chimneys and one of them's got the water vapor, so that's the white one, that's all right, but the other one you can see, this tall skinny bit that has the dirty stuff coming out the top of it. They're the ones you got to worry about. And I'm just looking at this thing going, that looks fucking disgusting. Who allowed that to be built on the hill as you're coming out of this beautiful medieval fucking market town? Who put that there? No, I would much rather have a million fucking wind turbines, mate, everywhere. I find them relaxing. I like looking at them. They're clean. They look clean. They look sleek. They look futuristic. They remind me in some way of the Teletubbies. I don't know why. Did they have a wind turbine to power their fucking hill? To power Tinky Winky's fucking Tinky Winky? I don't know. I don't know. But I like them. I like them because they're clean. What I hate about fucking dirty, disgusting fucking petrol and diesel. Diesel fucking stinks. It's horrible. Petrol's, I don't like it, but it's not bad. Fucking diesel. Oh my God. It's just, ugh. It's the worst fucking smell. You have to put a smell into natural gas because otherwise you won't be able to smell it when it's leaking and you'll just die in your sleep because all this stuff's fucking deadly. They go on about, we have clean engines now, we have catalytic converters. All right, mate, well, tell you what, put yourself in the garage, wind down the windows, fucking turn the engine on and just sleep there the night, see how you get on. But yeah, it's natural as opposed to be made from coal. Doesn't sound very, very natural to me in any way, shape, or form to do what we do. And the thing is this as well, like, what happens in the future if there's some problem with the heat from the sun? I know we've got global warming at the moment, but what happens if a stray planet comes into our solar system and knocks us slightly off course? Not much, just by a few degrees, and we move away from the sun. and the amount of energy we get from the sun drops considerably. You know, like on Mars, because it's the next planet out. It's like -50 all the time. It's cold as hell, as Elton John famously sang. You know, it's no place to raise the kids. You know, so if we were taken out a little bit by the gravitational force of a rogue planet coming close to our solar system, we might need all that energy in the ground to keep ourselves warm, because we wouldn't be able to get so much warmth from the sun anymore, would we? Just a thought. We still have wind now, I suppose. And then we've got like the next lot, the high, finance and hedge funds giving money into refuck. Hedge funds, like the vulture capitalists, as I've mentioned, they look for companies that aren't doing so well, and then they fucking hedge their bets against them, and then they strip them of their assets and they fuck them over. And hedge funds have destroyed so many British companies because of their business practices. And Lilly and Nagioff and Mackay, they all have backgrounds in high finance. And then you've got the aristocrats, Cottrell and Candy, Valance. They've aligned their policies with low regulation, tax breaks for the rich, property protection. They're dead against the non-dom status being gotten rid of. This isn't just an ideological alignment. This is financial self-interest for the rich, for the super fucking rich. But the dickheads who vote for this stuff, who aren't rich, don't seem to understand this, and I don't know how to get this across to them, because 77 million Americans voted for Trump, knowing he was a multimillionaire, now he's a billionaire thanks to becoming president again. But this guy is a criminal. This guy is a rapist. This guy is an absolute fucking scumbag. This guy started an insurrection against his own country. And like they don't see that he just rules for the elite. He just rules for the wealthy. If you're earning billions, then you're going to be doing great under Trump. That's why all the billionaires backed him to the hilt. And that's why these rich motherfuckers are back and refuck. The GB News obviously serves as both a megaphone and a money funnel towards refuck. Farage, Anderson and others receive huge fucking fees for their media work. And refuck's MPs are given, they're paid for TV exposure, which gives them the illusion of credibility while indirectly propping up the party's finances. Do you not see how this is fucking corrupt as fuck? You have a presenter on the BBC putting out a tweet saying we should be nice to fucking refugees, and they get down the fucking banks. These are people who are MPs in a fucking political party being paid by a bunch of billionaires who own a fucking TV channel to spout their bullshit on the billionaires' own TV channel. Do you not feel like there should be something made of this conflict of interest? Because I fucking do. If those payments were classified as donations, it would dramatically shift public understanding of how refuck sustains itself. Reform is less of a party. It's more of a limited liability vehicle for advancing the interests of the ultra-wealthy. This high donor concentration, over 50% of funds coming from refuck's own inner circle, like the people who are high up in refuck giving money to refuck. So George Cottrell, Posh George, he's a political advisor to refuck. Richard Tice, he's the fucking he's the party deputy. He's given loads of money. I see that Nigel Farage doesn't like putting his money where his mouth is, does he? He doesn't like putting his money where his disgusting frog-faced shithole of a mouth is, does he? Fucking bolt hunting beast, fucking disgusting mountain of fucking mad flesh. Ugh, it's disgusting. I wish these motherfuckers would stop being so ugly. Gavin Newsom is all over my fucking media at the moment. He's not bad to look at. You know what? If I had to look at his stupid fucking mug every fucking day because he's done something daft, it wouldn't be quite as offensive as having to look at Trump's disgusting, mangled, mashed twat of a face. Or Farage's disgusting natterjack fucking toad reflected in a doorknob, fizzog. He's just disgusting. I hate looking at them. Anne Widdecombe, she makes me vom just looking at her. She's so evil and shitty. And that voice, that horrible screeching voice of hers. It's like, oh my God. It's like some mad scientist just glooped together all the shit bits that were left over from the graveyard when all the other mad scientists have stolen all the good bits of the corpses and put it together and made this fucking boil of a woman. Jesus Christ, fucking plague sore of a woman. I'm allowed to look at that. I'm allowed to look at that. Stop showing me their pictures. I fucking hate them. Disgust me. They're disgusting. They disgust me. Many of these new donors have no political donation history, but they do have commercial stakes in deregulated sectors. And a handful of very, very rich, well-connected, well-to-do, privately educated men are funding the operation and stand to benefit most from it if Refuck ever, get into power, which they have done here in Durham. They're currently running our council into the ground already. Bunch of gobshites. And this is the problem. This is where Labour needs to do something, right? This is legal, but it's deeply undemocratic. UK donation law says that only individuals or entities registered to vote or operating in the UK can donate. But trips abroad can be funded anonymously. That's a loophole. Subsidies of foreign companies can donate via UK registered shells. That's a loophole. And there is no requirement to disclose donor background or biography, only their names. So if they're not registered on the internet, if they don't have an internet footprint, an internet-based profile or anything, like Malcolm Robinson, who gave 160,000, like Duncan Mackay, who gave, why do we keep calling him Mackay? Duncan Mackay gave 100,000. We don't know who they are. We don't know who these people are. We just got their names. That is it. And, it allows donors to hide behind opaque corporate structures. It's a gift to the ultra-rich and the unaccountable. Farage says that he's fighting the elite. He's like that horrible little twat, what was his name? Dominic Cummings, saying, I'm getting out of London, I need to get away from the elite. This guy went to fucking Durham School for Boys. It's like 15 grand a term. Go fuck yourself to unalivement, you mad little twat. I'm getting away from the elite, he says, as he leaves London to go and stay in his fucking family estate up the road from here. They own 17,000 acres just next to the city centre. They tried to make it out like it's miles away from anywhere and it's an okay place to go after you've hotboxed your kid in the car all the way up with COVID, knowing you've got COVID, knowing your wife's got COVID, not knowing what the COVID is going to do to your child. Put them in a car, drive all the way from London to Durham and bring the plague to Durham. Thanks very much for that, Dominic Cummings. And he says, we've got to get away from the elite. And he goes to his wife's castle. Motherfucker lives in a castle. His wife's part of the aristocracy. He lives in a castle. But he's got to get away from the elites. He calls me. He calls you the metropolitan elite. Because we can't fight back. And they know it. Because we've got no money. We don't have the funding to go around being on a TV show or funding a TV channel. We can't start a political party with these massive donations. We can't even get a fucking social media empire going. Empire company. But, shoestring operation. You can't even get a social media shoestring operation together with all of the influencers that we know because none of us have got the money to do it. I mean, if someone was to come along and drop $500,000 in, and fucking hell, we could ramp this shit up. We could get our message out to so many fucking people. But we can't because we're the elite. We're the metropolitan elite. Calling Scousers like me the metropolitan elite when he's on his way to his fucking castle. Or when Farage is about to get on his fucking private jet to go and fly to meet some financiers in Qatar or in Hollywood or wherever the fuck that motherfucker goes. Paid for by God knows who. And don't forget about Boris Johnson having a holiday in Muscat, was it? Paid for by a donor. So. Ooh. That was the pipes. That wasn't me. We have noisy pipes in this. Let's go. Cat. Oh, she can't hear me. It's an old house. When you turn the pipes on, when you turn the tap on, unless you turn it on to a certain amount, if you turn it on a little bit, you get this this kind of rumble in the jungle. That's what that was, in case you thought it was something else. If it was something else, I'll admit to it. I don't care. Anyway, so Farage says he's fighting the elite. But refuck is bankrolled by hedge funds, fossil fuel barons, crypto billionaires, and ex-Tory donors. In fact, as our wonderful friend Mike pointed out the other day to us, if you take the letters from Reform Tory, you can make the word formatory. Funny that. Anyway, this is a political franchise. It is the Tory Party Limited. It's a brand. It's a brand for hire, and they're trying to buy legitimacy with the votes of people who, I'm sorry to say, should know fucking better. They should fucking know better. They really should. Reform is bankrolled by hedge funds, hedge funds, by crypto billionaires, by fucking the fossil fuel bastards. So yeah, it's a political franchise. They call it, refuck. It's not for the people. It's not of the people. It's of the rich. It's of the super wealthy for the super wealthy. I can't emphasize this enough. Anyway, thank you to Open Democracy for pointing all this out to us. That was very, very good of you. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we stop talking about Boris Johnson? I feel like every time he says his name, he gets stronger. Well, I'll try not to mention him too much because he's not really doing very much at the moment to piss me off, except not doing the thing that I'd like him to do. However, he is representative of that posh, upper class scumbaggery that we've had to fucking deal with for the last God knows how long, where people who went to state school are just muscled out of the system. Hotboxing in Leeds, where you and three lads smoke out a car without opening the window, just to keep all that THC goodness on the car. I know. It's got more than one meaning. I was using it meaning like keeping the virus in the car when you got a small child in the car with you. I think I will be swapping the bedding over to my summer bedding today, Chris C. Or you could just move to Durham, where it's the land of perpetual winter. It's always winter, never Christmas. If I win the lotto, I promise I will give you the money to fight the cause, says Sarah Davis. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's so kind. If I win the lotto, I'll do the same. Do you think we'll ever get to the point? Oh, sorry, I've read that one. Oh, sorry, I meant the country as a whole. The country. This country as a fucking whole. Yeah, I hope so. I really do. I mean, I worry about him coming back, to be honest with you. I think that the policy is with the Tories, they are going to allow themselves to get into the doldrums and people to think the Tories are down and out and they're never coming back. And then he's going to be the guy who comes back and saves the Tory party. That's what I'm concerned about. Didn't John Major go to a state school? Yes. Where's he? John Major did. Gordon Brown did. Liz Truss, she did, but she was only in for 44 days, so I don't know if she counts. Margaret Thatcher went to a state school. Heath went to a state school. Callaghan went to a state school. Wilson went to a state school. In fact, if you look at the second half of the 20th century, the vast majority of time in office for elected prime ministers, they were people from state schools. Obviously, Alex Douglas Hume did not go to a state school. He is very much part of the aristocracy, but he was only prime minister for a week or something. This first quarter of this century, it's apart from under 3 years of the 25 that we've had a leader in charge of this country. PM, sorry. In the last 25 years, only 3 of them have been under a prime minister who went to a state school. And look, it's not necessarily Starmer's fault. He didn't have rich parents. His daddy was a toolmaker, famously, as we all know. He keeps mentioning it. I might have mentioned it. Do you know I've been to every country in the world without flying? I might have mentioned it. But his school became private while he was there. So, and he was there with Fatboy Slim as well. Of the House Martins. You know the guy. Paula Thomas, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Dominic can't even get a job in Tufton Street. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. Well, he's insufferable. He's insufferable. He's a fucking insufferable fucking idiot. People hate him. He rubs people up the wrong way. I should say. So yeah, the second half of the 20th century was more socially dynamic than it is now. In fact, a lot of the big actors back then, like Sean Connery and Michael Caine, they went to state school. Nowadays, nearly every single big actor that you see in a TV show, especially the young ones, or a film, they went to private school. Almost to a T. You'll have a look on privateschoolmafia.com. If you're getting that thing where it says forbidden, let me know. It says forbidden 403 error. I keep getting it. I have to go into incognito mode in order to get onto my own bloody website. Don't know why it's doing that. I think it might be, I don't know, Google blocking it or something. Because the cookies don't add up. The cookies don't add up. The cookies don't add up. So we're going to have a very quick look at the papers because I do need to go. Sunday Times here. Decker Atkinhead meets Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know who Decker Atkinhead is. Who's Decker Atkinhead? Why do I care? Is that someone that I should be looking up? Decker Atkinhead? Who the fuck? Anyone know who Decker Atkinhead is? A journalist. A journalist. It's a woman from Wiltshire. Oh, she won the Russell Prize in 2020. She studied politics and modern history at the University of Manchester. Disgraceful behaviour. I studied politics and modern history at University of Manchester. So I don't know. She's a journalist. Okay, cool. France's best speeches there. Cool. Britain on a war footing. Aircraft moved to the Middle East after Iran threat, which is terrifying. Netanyahu, Israeli jets will be seen over Tehran. More terror. Death cult mullahs want war. I think the fucking mullahs of Israel want war as well, by the looks of things. Alzheimer's drugs denied to patients. That's not good. Show a couple. We're gonna have some of the kids from number 42. It's not weird at all to print pictures of other people's children and put them on a newspaper front page and then sell copies of that. It's not weird, honestly. You know, if you went and then took pictures like over the wall of kids playing in your neighbour's garden, and then you printed thousands of pamphlets with that picture on, and you gave them out to everyone going, hey, look, and everyone's like, what am I looking at? And they're like, well, it's children. Yeah. From number 42. Yeah. Well, you need to look at it. Why? Because they're children. Okay, you're freaking me out now. Okay, this is really creepy. I think this is weird. I think this is a weird thing to fucking do, to take pictures of someone else's children and put them on the front page of your periodical and then hand it out to people, distribute that picture to millions of people. That's like a really fucking fucked up, weird thing to do. We don't think it's fucked up and weird because we're in it. We grew up with this shit, but it's fucking weird. It's really weird. It's one of the reasons why Meghan and Harry don't allow their kids to be seen. Good. Don't. We don't need to see them. It's fine. It's cool. It's groovy. We've got the mail here, the fail, as I like to call it. New Letby bombshell. Chief prosecution witnesses vile rant at campaigner who questions its evidence. You're turned on by Lucy Letby in her uniform. Okay. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I don't know why people are defending her, to be honest with you. I don't really get it. And they've got a picture of another child. Is it the same child? I don't know. They all look the same to me. And another person from the family. Anything you can do, Mum. Charlotte and Kate Dazzle in Aquamarine. They wore Aquamarine. So there you go. That's an adventure in itself. They wore Aquamarine. Yay. Shaggy says it wasn't me, it was God. Okay, cool. And then we've got the whole family together on the front page of the Telegraph there, with the kids standing there looking a bit awkward, a bit weird, putting the kids at the front there. PM caves in on grooming. Are the kids, are they human shields? Is that what? Are they doing a Hamas? Probably shouldn't say that, should I? PM caves, we're all thinking it now. PM caves in on grooming gangs inquiry. Inquiry. Isn't that someone who, like your assistant or something? Isn't that inquiry? So this is to do with the fact that earlier this year, in January, there were calls for a national review into the grooming scandal, the grooming gang scandal, right? We've already had one, and it gave 7 recommendations, which were, oh no, it was more than 7. It was just a stack of recommendations that were given to the government at the time. And I think it was Badenoch who was in charge of fucking women's and equal services, whatever it was, whatever the fucking department was. I think it was Badenoch. It might have been Braverman. It might have been fucking Patel. It might have been, I don't know, Jenrick or some other gobshite from the Tories. I can't remember. Anyway, whoever was in charge looked at this and went, oh, that's nice, and put it in a drawer, and then closed the drawer. Didn't implement any of the recommendations from the report. So what happened in January was Starmer put Baroness Casey on the case, Casey undercover, in order to make a report to see whether there needed to be further investigation, a national inquiry. And she's come back after 5 months. It took a bit longer than they thought it was going to, but she's come back, and her recommendation is, yes, we should have a national inquiry. So this national inquiry hasn't come about because of lobbying by the Tories or by refuck. No, that's just opportunism. It's come about because Labour put someone in place to go, do we need to investigate this further? And they came back and said, yes, we do. So now it's a U-turn, when actually this was the policy all along. They were recommended to do this after the policy review by, looking into it by Baroness Casey. Yeah, let's do it. And some might feel like an overabundance of caution is a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing. I'm kind of sick and tired of MPs hiding behind having an inquiry. And I think they talked about this in Westminster. I think they definitely talked about it in the thick of it, where you order an inquiry into something. So Boris Johnson's had some parties, so we'll have an inquiry. We'll have an inquiry into these parties. And then while the inquiry's going on, you don't talk about it because you say, oh, we can't talk about this because of the inquiry ongoing. So they can talk about it, they just choose not to. And then when the inquiry comes out, they say, oh yeah, lessons learned. Yeah, lessons learned. Yeah, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to act on this information. We're not going to act on the recommendations. We're just going to say, well, lessons learned. Yeah. So that's good. And by then it's 7 years down the line. So you've probably got a different government. You've probably at least got a different leadership team in charge. And they can just blame everything on the previous lot. It's all their fault. It's all their fucking fault. There's a very stark picture on the front cover of the Observer here with missile attack into, I think that's Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel. I don't think this is a rocket hitting. I think that's the Iron Dome or whatever they fucking call it. That's a rocket taking off to try and intercept missiles coming in. God, it looks like, what was that game? Was it Missile Command? Was it Missile Command where you had the things coming in, the rockets, the nuclear rockets, and you had to blow them up. You had to click on. He's playing it at the beginning of Terminator 2. John Connor's playing it. There's an old woman and an old man, and there's a kid for some reason. Same picture there. The best of Britain. Beaming royals give nation a cheer. Fucking hell. I don't get on the front cover of newspapers on my birthday. Although on my birthday, which is Global Scouse Day, we do usually manage to get everyone everyone who's homeless in Liverpool to have a nice hot Scouse meal for the day. Well, at least we give out Scouse with cooperation from all kinds of backers, usually with the White House. White Church, is it? What the fuck's it called? Oh, I'm just having a mental fucking blank now. We had one year where when Virgin Trains still operated, they put Scouse on the menu and on the trains. You could go and get Scouse. Normally on the train you get like a sandwich and a bag of crisps. They actually had Whitechapel. That's it. It's the Whitechapel Centre. And Paper Cup in Liverpool works with homeless people. So by starting Global Scouse Day, kind of made it so that I made sure that homeless people get a nice hot fucking meal on my birthday. I would like to do that every day, to be honest with you. I'd like to give them a fucking home to live in, to be honest with you. It's the most ethical and the most cheapest way of dealing with people being on the streets. Get them somewhere to live. Oh, but they might be faking it. They might not really be homeless. Okay. Then, we'll be able to find out where they live and take them home. That's what the problem is. We managed to house everyone who was homeless when COVID happened. Anyway, meanwhile in the USA, hundreds of thousands of protesters are marching under the slogan "No Kings." Yeah, but as I pointed out, it means that means that they can have one king. It's like the No Homers Club in The Simpsons, where it says, but that means you can have one Homer. So calling their movement the No Kings, making it a plural, it means that you can have one. You're just going to have two, which most countries don't have two kings. So I'm not saying they need to work on the marketing for like pedants like me, but they possibly need to work a little bit on their marketing. So I'm glad you got to experience pictures of that family from 42 because we need them on the front cover. It's really weird though, especially the pictures of the kids. It's really fucking weird. Imagine you got a friend who like sent you like to your inbox on a messaging app pictures of someone else's children that you don't know. And you're like, oh, have you seen how the kids are getting on down the road? And you're like, I don't know who these kids are. Why are you sending me a picture of random kids? I need you to see it. I need you to know that they were wearing lilac. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Is that why you sent me the message? This is getting really uncomfortable. I'm feeling like I should call a number at this moment. This is really weird. This is a really weird thing to do. Now you've got to know that they wore a hat. Okay, why is that coming to my inbox? I don't understand. I don't know these kids. I don't know these people. I don't know them. Like, why are you sending me this? I've never met them in my life. I've never had a conversation with them. I don't know what they sound like. Why? This is really fucking weird. This is not something that normal human beings do. Oh, look at the kids. They're wearing clothes. It's very, very, very strange. Anne says, I don't like it when people say we should call him Alex instead. No, Alex is a good name. The only thing Boris was Karloff, and that was a pseudonym. Other offensive Borises may also exist in theory. Boris Yeltsin. Well, Boris, I mean, he was working for the Russians all along. That kind of makes sense. Boris is the baddie, Russian baddie, from Rocky and Bullwinkle. He's a Boris, isn't he? Boris and Natasha. And says, I'm guessing it's a member of the staff who got to interview Arnie. Well, if we can get to use a name like Arnold Schwarzenegger, we can probably learn to cope with a name like Decker Ackenhead. No, it's fine. It was just like, who is... They do this all the time in the papers. I hate it. It's not too bad when it's a full name and I can look them up. But it's when they just give like the name of the first name. It's like James speaks to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, the band. No. It's someone... And you're like, who is this person? I don't know who... You're telling me about this person, this celebrity that's done something, and you've just used their first name. Look, if it's Drake or Kylie or Madonna, fair enough. If it's Beyonce, yeah, I can follow that shit. But when it's just like someone from a boy band, and it's like Zayn does this, and I'm like, Zayn who? Billy Zayn? Zayn Malik? Zayn who? Which in Zayn in the membrane? Like who is this? Alistair, thank you very much. Agree, Graham. They did get homelessness down to zero when COVID locked down, so why not now? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why not now, Alistair. This is my pet theory. It's to scare us. It's to go, look what happens if you try and you fail. Don't try. Don't ever try. Because that's the fate of those of us who choose the road less travelled, is that if we fuck up, then we're fucked. If we don't have the same sort of, a decent social, a safety net in with our families or with friends or somewhere, if we try a business, if we try a venture, whether that's starting a YouTube channel or whether that's, starting a corner shop or going to space, whatever it is, and it doesn't work out, and we end up being absolutely fucked over. We took out a loan. The loan is on us. It's not on the business. And we still got to pay that back even if the business fails. We could end up on the streets. We could end up on the streets begging for money just to make it through the day. And so they want people on the streets begging for money so they can go, look what happens. Look what happens if you try and you fail. Don't ever try, plebs. The only people who are allowed to try a business and fail 9 times before they finally get to the thing that makes them. The story of entrepreneurs all over the world who have done very well, but they come from money. Like Branson, like the gobshite who owns Weatherspoons, the Drax shitter. He went to private school. Rocco Forte went to private fucking school. Bamford went to private fucking school. These so-called, they're not self-made billionaires by any stretch of the imagination. They had the money to start with, and money makes money in this world, in this capitalist world that we have at the moment. Money makes money. The best way to make money, the cheapest way to make money, the least taxed way of making money is just by having money in the first place. And then when Labour try and claw some of that back through VAT on private school fees or by tightening up the loophole on landowners who didn't have to pay fucking tax if they said, oh, there's a family farm, mate. And because there's about 500 people who are going to be affected by that in reality, it's going to be 500 people who are affected by that new change in inheritance tax law. I mean, still a massive discount. They still only have to pay 20%, whereas you and I have to pay 40%. Well, not us personally, when someone carks it and they give you stuff, if it's worth over £1 million, you have to pay inheritance tax on it. But it's only on what you get above a certain amount, And it's this is the thing that people think about, like, oh, but my family home is worth £1 million because we live in London or something, right? And so when we get there, we're going to have to pay £400,000 in tax because inheritance tax is 40%. No. If the assets that your parents leave you, both parents, adds up to £1 million, and you get £1 million and £1 for the house when it gets sold or whatever the valuation of the house, you pay 40% on the £1. Okay, so you get £1 million tax free, and you have to pay 40 pence in tax. Okay, that's if it's £1 million and £1. And they whinge about this. £1 million is just not enough, darling. It's just not enough. £1 million. I mean, think of the money we've got to spend. The money we've got to spend on all this. Fuck off. I'm sick of rich people being able to pass on their stuff to their next generation without having to pay any tax. The maddest one was the Duke of Westminster, who died about 15 fucking years ago, and his son inherited £11 million. Sorry. 11 million. I wish it was 11 billion. It was 11 billion. 11 billion pounds. Or to put it another way, 1,100 million pounds. 1,100 million pounds. Actually, no, it's more than that, isn't it? What is 11 billion? 11 billion in millions. Fucking hell, no. It's not 1,100. It's 11,000 million pounds. 11,000. I had to look that up because it just seemed like an insane amount of money. So imagine being a millionaire, right? Because you won the lottery and you win £1 million on the lottery. Then imagine doing that, right? Every day for how many 11,000 days in years. Imagine winning £1 million on the lottery every day of every year for 30 years. That's how much money the Duke of Westminster gave to his fucking son when he carked it. And do you know how much inheritance tax that motherfucker had to pay? Not a fucking dirty penny. He paid nothing in inheritance tax for winning the lottery every single day of every year for 30 years. He won the lottery 365 days a year. Except on leap years when he won it 366 days a year. Fuck me. And these motherfuckers, they're sitting there funding these political parties, funding the Tories, funding refuck. to say, yeah, let's keep funding let's keep funding fossil fuels. Let's keep subsidising the billionaires. Let's get rid of these inheritance taxes. They're very troublesome. Let's keep the non-dom loophole so you can, pretend you don't live here. The Chancellor of the Exchequer in this country, his fucking wife, lived at number 11 Downing Street and claimed non-dom status, so she only had to pay £20,000 of tax. Some people earning just as average fucking wage pay that in tax. £20,000 she pays when she should have paid millions in tax each year. But she was a non-dom. She was non-domiciled, living in fucking Downing Street. And when Labour try and tighten up these loopholes, these rich motherfuckers lose their fucking minds. So I hope you remember some of the stuff that we talked about this morning. I have gone way over time. I've gone 45 minutes over time because I was only going to do a short show this morning. A short show. Make inheritance tax 100%, no exceptions. Couldn't agree more, Scott. Then everyone starts on the same level, don't they? Joanna says, and 175k of that 5,000 only applies if you give to direct descendants. Yep. I was wondering where the million came from. Now I see. If you're a married couple, you get 2 times the normal amount of 500,000. Yeah. That said, if both parents, it's $1 million. Tax free. But you have to pay that 40p. You have to pay that 40p on the extra pounds. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we have to subsidise the royal family. Yeah, Sarah Davis. If you die without a will in Liverpool and you've got no descendants, you've got no next of kin, your money goes to the fucking king, the Duchy of Lancaster, goes to the fucking royal family because they're not rich enough. Why don't we have a system where if your will, you don't leave a will, you've got no dependents and no next of kin, your money goes to local resources. There's a special fund that is set up, local councils all over the country. I don't care if they're refuck, whatever. It's funding for local services. How about that? Goes back into the community. And you spend what you get while you're alive, putting it into the economy. Yeah, exactly. Spend it. Okay, well, okay. Well, if you're gonna give me 100% inheritance tax, then I'm gonna give all my money to my kids now. Okay, cool. Do it. Give the money to the kids, and they can fucking spend it and keep the economy going instead of hoarding it all like fucking Smaug. Right, my friends, Romans, countrymen. I will say thank you for watching this morning here on Morning Brew. I will be back later today. I'll be talking to Gareth T about prison reform. I've got to work out what time I'm going to do it, and unfortunately, Kat's just gone out, so I can't just quickly ask a Gareth if you're still watching. But I'm going to find a time. It'll have to be before 7:00. So it might be mid-afternoon. I'll also have to see what time Tansky is doing her live stream because I don't want to cross the streams. Don't cross the streams, Egon. And so, yes, I will say thank you so much for the wonderful discussions here in the chat. Thank you to everyone for being so beautiful and so civil. And thank you for the super chats. Genuinely, thank you. It makes it worth getting up to do these shows, knowing that your generosity will keep us going. Keep the channel going. Keep the channel alive. It's alive. So, like I say, I'll be back later today with an episode of How We Fix Britain, talking about prison reform, and then I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:00 for the next Morning Brew. And until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Give us a like on the way out. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.